Welcome, friends, to the Blue Plate Special. It's an hour of real live music 6 days a week on WDVX. If you would like to view today's acts, you can join us in studio at the Knoxville Visitor Center or on our YouTube channel or streaming on our Facebook page. And, of course, you can tune in if you're locally, FM 92.9, 102.9, 89.9. We have two artists in the studio today. Coming up on the second half of the show, we'll have Tim Chandler. But first, please welcome Elise Witt to the WDVX Blue Plate Special.
You're invited to our home where there's peace with harmony. You're invited to our home where there's peace with harmony. Everyone's invited right here to WDVX Blue Plate Special where there's so much peace with harmony. Sweet, 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 sweet peace with harmony. Bring your family and relations where there's peace with harmony. Bring your family and relations where there's peace with harmony. Bring in the ancestors, all the children we help raise in peace with harmony. Here's your part. Sweet, 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 peace with harmony. We always could do it twice. Sweet, 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 peace with harmony. All sound good. Bring your family and relations. Bring your troubles, bring your trials, where there's peace with harmony. Bring your troubles, bring your trials, where there's peace with harmony. Lay down your troubles, lay down your trials, in peace with harmony. Sweet, 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 peace with harmony. Let's hear those harmonies. Sweet, 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 peace with harmony. Bring your poems, bring your songs, where there's peace with harmony. Bring your stories, your poems, your songs, where there's peace with harmony. Bring your dances, your stories, your poems, your songs in peace with harmony. Here we go. Sweet, 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 peace with harmony. Again. Sweet, 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 peace with harmony. Let's bring it down. Bring your enemies, bring your fears, where there's peace with harmony. Bring your enemies, yes, your fears, where there's peace with harmony. Bless your enemies, bless your fears, in peace with harmony. Sweet, 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 peace with harmony. Oh, yes. Sweet, 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 peace with harmony. You're invited to our home where there's peace with harmony. You're invited to our home where there's peace with harmony. You're invited right here to my home and your home where there's so much peace with harmony. Sweet, 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 peace with harmony. Sweet, 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 peace with harmony. One more time, give it all you got. Sweet, 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 sweet peace with harmony. Woo! Thank you. I was wondering, what if every session of Congress started with singing? What if every day we greet started with singing? Babies are born singing. When did we stop? How did we stop? Why did we stop singing? 'Cause singing is in our souls, singing is in our bodies, singing is in our souls. That's your part. Singing is in our souls, singing is in our bodies, singing is in our souls. One more with harmony. Singing is in our souls, singing is in our bodies, singing is in our souls. Imagine computer programmers all singing. Students and teachers, janitors and principals all singing. Baseball, football, basketball, soccer, hockey, rugby teams all singing. Doctors, nurses, patients, and anesthesiologists all singing. Why? 'Cause singing is in our souls, singing is in our bodies, singing is in our souls. One more time. Singing is in our souls, singing is in our bodies, singing is in our souls. Imagine the Supreme Court justices all singing in the name of love. Sing that like the Supremes. In the name of love, yes. Imagine a jury deliberating, all singing. Black lives matter, Black lives matter. Imagine CEOs in boardrooms together, all singing for equal pay. How about that? For equal pay. Farmers in the field and workers in the factories, all singing. And not deported, and not deported. Why? 'Cause singing is in our souls, singing is in our bodies, singing is in our souls. One more. Singing is in our souls, singing is in our bodies, singing is in our souls. Imagine shy people singing. All those people who were told and believed that they could not sing. Imagine every child, every day in every school singing. A family sitting down, sharing a meal. It changes the air around us, changes the molecules in us. It changes you, changes me, changes everything. Let's sing. 'Cause singing is in our souls, singing is in our bodies, singing is in our souls. Oh yeah, sounds so good.
That's Elise Witt on the Blue Plate Special. Now, Elise, you have a fun bio to read. And I must admit, I was a little concerned that I was going to have to learn a new language in order to conduct this interview today.
Well,
How many fluent languages are you up to now?
I'd say like 4.5, but I'm learning a bunch of small bits of more. Yeah, I was born in Switzerland, so my first language is actually German. And then I was a French major in college. I thought I was going to be like a translator, interpreter. I speak Italian and a good amount of Spanish. I'm learning Portuguese. But you know what? All of those, I ended up, I'm not an interpreter at the UN, but I think I'm an interpreter in my music.
Yeah. Are we going to be hearing any songs in a different language today?
I thought we might.
Okay, all right. I don't want to spoil anything. I just put that little bird in your ear there. I looked up, I just happened to have a dictionary the other day, and I looked up diverse heritage. And surprisingly, there was your face right there under diverse heritage. And
oh, wow.
I was wondering, of course, your bio is revealing a lot of this, but how has your ancestry contributed to your songwriting?
Well, that's a good question. I think we all are products of our ancestry, and mine is very wide. My dad actually could trace his ancestry back to the year 1000. I have relatives, I guess, all the way from Cuba and Spain to Germany and Poland. So, because of learning my second language, English, when I was 4, it really got me excited about languages and using languages to create bridges between people. So I think it's been very, very inspiring.
I'm glad you mentioned building bridges, because that's kind of leading up to another thing I wanted to ask about. I see that you have a lot of involvement in teaching other people of all ages, kids, adults, and I was wondering if you could give me some of the details on your workshops, and I'd certainly like to hear about the Global Village project as well.
Okay, well, for those of you that have time this afternoon, I'm going to be doing an impromptu Glorious Chorus community singing workshop over at TVUUC, and would love to see more of you there. We're going to have a wonderful time. No music reading, all like body and voice. You don't have to know anything or be anything in your mind about a singer. We're going to create beautiful harmonies together, and then I'm doing a concert in the evening. You mentioned the Global Village Project, and for the last 15 years, I used singing and songwriting to teach English at a special purpose middle school for teenage refugee girls. And we just put out a book that has 55 songs that over the last 15 years we've written with the students. And there are songs in there for if you want to learn about punctuation, or you want to learn about fractions, or you want to find a song about community building. And it's all organized in that way. So it's very exciting, and would love for people to find out more about it. They can find out on my website, which is just myname.com. But I thought I would actually do a song that we wrote at the Global Village Global Village Project. How does that sound?
Yes, that sounds great.
Okay, so this is, I started a special project at the Global Village Project after I'd been there for a couple of years, called the Women's Wisdom Project. And I invited a successful refugee or immigrant woman to come in and speak with each of the 3 classes. So I had 3 different women, and tell us her life story. And then after she did, we said, thank you, goodbye. But secretly, we had been taking notes and recording, and we wrote a song about her life. And at the end of the school year, we invited those women back and sang them their life. So I wanted to sing you a song. This is one of the first Women's Wisdom projects that we did for Miss Haliet Hatungimana, who is from Burundi. And she started the Burundi Women's Garden in Decatur, Georgia, near where I live. And she's now part of the bigger Global Growers Network, which is a wonderful, wonderful agricultural project in Atlanta. So this is called With a Little Patience, Everything Grows. And the first part, Tiki Tiki Maj, can you say that? Tiki Tiki Maj, that means watermelon sweet. And then piri piri aho means chili pepper hot to eat. You'll hear that in the chorus. Here we go. Tiki tiki maj, watermelon sweet. Piri piri aho, chili pepper hot to eat. By working in her garden, Miss Hollyette, she knows, with a little patience, everything grows. Learning to farm as a child in Africa. The older you get, the more experience you have. I learned from my parents to grow things. Digging, planting, watering, we sow things. For me, farming is easy and comfortable because I've been doing it all my life. Back home in my country, Burundi, I was a farmer, a mother, and wife. I love being a Burundi farmer. I could grow everything, the weather was warmer. I never grew some of the things you eat: radishes, collards, spinach, and beets. In America, everything is different. Here you have to buy water. That's ridiculous. I learn more about America every day. I love teaching global growers my Burundi ways. Tiki tiki much, watermelon sweet. Piri piri, I hope chili pepper hot to eat. By working in her garden, Miss Holly, and she knows with a little patience everything grows. We grow for our homes and to sell at markets. We need a lot of math. There are many different prices. We figure out how many of each plant we'll need to grow. At the start of the year, we decide, then we hope. We don't use poisons to kill weeds or bugs. We use good bugs to kill bad bugs. We squish bad bug eggs by hand. Ick. The global growers' farms are all organic. There are many kinds of snakes in the garden. If they're all one color, they're probably good. If they're multicolored, avoid them you should. It's good to have snakes in the garden. Tiki tiki much, watermelon sweet. Piri piri, aho chili pepper hot to eat. By working in her garden, Miss Holly, she knows with a lot of patience everything grows. The more you farm, the more you'll see. The better you get, it comes naturally. Thank you so much. You know, when you have a song that has like 20 million verses, the students wrote it, so they actually remember the whole thing. So this one is a little different. It's called Like. And you know, English teachers always tell you, use metaphors. Don't just everything similes, like this, like that. But I have a friend in Atlanta who is part of the Open Door community, and he's Ed Loring. He said, you know, I love you like sweet potatoes love the rain. He always makes these weird ones. So I decided to write a whole song of like. Like my tongue to the word, I know I am heard. Like my ear to the tune, you are now, you are soon. Like a curl to my hair, I know we'll be there. Like my foot to the walk, I know I can talk with you. Like a cloud to the rain, you're my weather vane. Like a root to the earth, I know what it's worth. Like my hand to the glove, I'm surrounded by love. Like my breath to the air, I know heaven is where we are. La 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 Like my tongue to the word, I know I am heard. Like my ear to the town, like my ear to the tune, you are now, you are soon. Like like a cloud to the rain. You're my weather vane, like a root to the earth. I know what it's worth, like my hand to the globe. I'm surrounded by love, like my breath to the air. I know heaven is where we are. Heaven is where we are. Heaven is where we are.
This is Elise Witt on the WDVX Blue Plate Special. Before we get to one more song from Elise, I did want to mention, I forgot to ask her before the show if she had any merchandise for sale today.
She does. We do, and I do. And you can find it on my website, but you can also find it over here in the corner. I have CDs, which I don't know if anybody plays anymore, but everything's available digitally. But I also have the Global Village Project songbook, and I have my own songbook called All Singing with 58 songs that I've written. And I also have 20, I believe it's 24 of my songs arranged for choirs. So there's women's choirs, men's choirs, mixed choirs, arrangements of songs. So if any of you are choir singers, check that out.
Elise, can you give us one more before you close out?
I thought I would. I wanted to give a special thanks to
my guitar pick that just fell down on the ground, to my friend Ann Strange, who has invited me up here to Knoxville and arranged all of this wonderful things for me to do here. And she loves languages like I do. So I thought I would do this song by Lorraine Dweezy. Her mom was French, and her mom used to do a lot of French cooking, and some of that was not so fun for Lorraine. Ratatouille, ratatouille, ratatouille. Not everybody can get into ratatouille. Onion, eggplant, tomato, pepper, zucchini. Oh, mama, how could you do this to me? Ratatouille, ratatouille, ratatouille. Not everybody can get into ratatouille. Ratatouille. Ratatouille, ratatouille, ratatouille. Ce n'est pas tout le monde qui aime la ratatouille. Ail, aubergine, oignon, poivron, tomate, courgette. Ce n'est pas tout le monde qui aime cette petite recette. Ratatouille, ratatouille, ratatouille. Ce n'est pas tout le monde qui aime la ratatouille. Oui, 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 ratatouille. And I thought it might need a little Italian verse as well. Ratatouille, ratatouille, ratatouille. Non a tutti piace la ratatouille. Cipolle, aglio, melanzane, zucchine. Oh mamma, come puoi fare questo a me? Ratatouille, ratatouille, ratatouille. Non a tutti piace la ratatouille. Oui, 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 oui. Ratatouille.
That's Elise Witt on the Blue Plate Special. Thank you so much, Elise. My name is Paul West. I am stepping in for Sean McCullough today, and I wanted to inform you of a few shows coming up here on the Blue Plate Special. On Monday, we will have a double bill with David Singley and Danny Burns. That'll be right here in the Knoxville Visitor Center. On Tuesday, we'll have Duck Ryan. Wednesday, we haven't filled out yet. That is to be determined. Then on Thursday, we will have another double bill, this one with Don Wall and David Esterling. Very special Big Plate will happen at Barley's on Friday. That's October 24th, with the Steel City Jug Slammers coming up from Birmingham, Alabama. And then on Saturday, we'll conclude our week of Blue Plate specials right back here on the Visit Knoxville stage. Andy Clark will be here. I'd also like to remind you that coming up in November, we'll be celebrating our 28th birthday here at WDVX. We're going to be over for an episode of Tennessee Shines at the Bijou Theater. That will begin at 7 p.m. We are having on the bill East Nash Grass, A.J. Lee and Blue Summit, Alex Leach, Wyatt Ellis, and the Poe Ramblin' Boys will be joining us all for the 28th birthday bash. Well, we have another solo act coming up, quick stage turnover, so we're going to give him as much time as we possibly can. Next up, we have Tim Chandler, and I'm looking for some thumbs up. We think we're about ready to go? All right. Here on the Blue Plate Special, let's welcome Tim Chandler to the stage.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much. Thank y'all very much. It's very good to be here in Knoxville this afternoon. We came up here from Alabama today, so we're a little bit in enemy territory, but happy to see all of you anyway. I think it's going to be a good game today. I'm not even an Alabama fan, so I don't even have skin in the game anyway. So I'm just going to be objectively watching as the third party this evening. I'm going to play a love song for you here next. This one's called Long Dream. I did write it after I just woke up in the middle of the night from a dream, so it seemed like an appropriate name. It goes something like this. Tonight I woke from a long got a whisper within me that calls to you. The sun on the rise tries to tell me just what I've known to do. More than before, I've seen what is true. Loving you's more than a long dream of you. When my poor body gets torn seams, torn, battered, and bruised, thoughts of you sew me up softly, leave what's left to lose. And when I must die, I will wait for you till we wake with the dead from a long dream. Thank you. Thank you.
Tim Chandler on the Blue Plate Special. Tim, I love reading about all of your different experiences you've had to find musical inspiration, but I've got to ask about one in particular. I spent some youthful years with a chainsaw in my hand, and I wondered how a Rocky Mountain forestry crew contributed to your songwriting.
Oh, yeah, that was a crazy time. So I spent a good 6 months after college working with this conservation crew. It was based out of Salida, Colorado. I don't know if y'all ever been out that way at all. It was with Conservation Legacy. They're like a division of AmeriCorps. Basically, all we did was we went out and we fixed up trails in the middle of nowhere, in the San Juans or the Weminuche Wilderness, or places. I grew up in the Southeast, so they were places I'd never seen anything like it before in my life. And so I lived out in my car in a tent. It was just me and like 5 other hippies, out there, having to rely on each other, people with very different backgrounds and points of view and where they grew up and all that kind of thing. And we went out and got to help kind of take a very small part in preserving some just absolutely amazing areas. And that has always kind of shaped my perspective on things, not just with beauty and, the wonder of the wilderness, but also even just the bond I had with complete strangers who were totally different than me. And just the peace that I was able to find with them, and certainly with the music. It was a great place to write songs, I'll tell you that. I learned a lot about the craft of songwriting just busking on the streets of Salida on my off days, and or out of the back of my car or whatever. I had this like crappy little Kia Spectre at the time that was on its very last leg. Took it all kinds of places it shouldn't have been out there. But yeah, that was definitely a very formidable time of my life that taught me a lot, and I've taken a lot of those lessons with me since, for sure.
Well, this expand on your songwriting a little bit.
Yeah.
Do songs come easy to you? Do you shelve incomplete songs for a period of time and then revisit them? What is your songwriting process like?
That's a good question. I'm still figuring that out, I guess. I've been writing songs for years, and I don't know if I really know how to tell you how to do it, honestly. It's one of those things where best advice I ever got about it was just do it. Just go out and do it. I've had some good mentors in my life teach me about the art of writing. And what most of the ones who I've listened to say is just keep the pen moving, even if it is terrible, right? So I've written way, way more bad songs than I have good ones, So in that way, I wouldn't say it's come easy. Every once in a while, you have one where you feel like, oh, I got it, But for the most part, I probably write a lot more bad material than I do good. But I mean, it's like anything else. If you want something good, it's going to take some elbow grease, and that's probably the most important lesson I've learned with songwriting, for sure.
Well, Tim, how long have you been in North Alabama now?
Oh, I guess we got there in 2021. I was chasing my wife down. My wife's from the Montgomery area, so shout out to anybody from Montgomery here. But we both found random jobs in northern Alabama back in 21. So I guess we've been there about 4 years now, something like that. And love that area. A lot of really good songwriters in that area. Good musical traditions in that area of the country.
I ask because it seems that a lot of people in North Alabama and South Central Tennessee kind of get drawn towards the Muscle Shoals area for recording and songwriting. Have you felt that influence at all, or?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Muscle Shoals is a legendary area. There's a songwriter festival that they do every year that I've been to a couple times now that I would recommend anyone who's interested in songwriting go to. It's just called the Muscle Shoals Songwriter Festival. But it's a really cool way to get to meet people who've worked in that area and were in fame when the Rolling Stones came through and whatever else. So there's definitely a draw there, and rightfully so. There's some amazing music that came out of that place. I think the first time I went there, I'd been in a band with a drummer who was from Florence, from that area, and so he took me back to his home at one point and just showed me around. It was really mind-blowing, the amount of music influence that place has had. So yeah, for sure, that's been an influence, yeah.
Now, Tim, you have a brand new self-titled album. Can you tell us about the production of this new album?
Sure. So that was really special. I got to record it with a guy named David Vest, super good guy. He actually cut his teeth in Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals. He runs E320 Studios out of Priceville, Alabama. Super cool guy. You ought to check him out. But I met him at a random gig at a steakhouse one night a couple of years ago, and we really hit it off. And so he did a bunch of the production, and we basically went through it took about a year to record it just to spread out the budget. You know how that is. But he, cut me a good deal, and we got to cut 10 different songs that are from various stages of my own life and writing process and a lot of the people who have been in it. And that was really special. It's just a self-titled one. It's called Tim Chandler, and that's out on all platforms. We got some CDs in the corner, too. I don't know if y'all play those at all, but we do have them if you do. So.
Tim, what is the best way for people to stay informed about future shows, new music that you're releasing? How do people find you?
Sure. So I'm active on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to follow me there, just Tim Chandler Music. I do have a YouTube account I need to post more often on, probably. But Instagram is typically what I use to try and keep out what the new songs and the new shows are and stuff. I play a lot around Alabama. I play some in Tennessee. And I try to get back to this area at least once a year whenever I can. So you can go follow me there, Tim Chandler Music.
Well, we encourage everybody here in the studio today to visit the merchandise table, help support these musicians. Elise mentioned she had some merchandise as well. But we've got some more music to hear from Tim. Can you play a couple more songs for us?
I'd love to, yeah. I'd love to, absolutely. So this one goes out to any guys who are afraid of losing their hair like I am. Well, it's not so much a fear at this point. It's a surety. But this is based on a true story. When I was in a Walmart one time, is on the way out is when I wrote it. It's called Short and Balding. And it goes something like this. Would someone tell me what's happened? I ain't even 25, but I think that spot up on my head is growing in its size. I saw it in the Walmart on the security camera screen, and I can't get over what it is I think I've seen. 'Cause I never grew into my height, so I hope to keep my hair. Now I'm too young to be bothered, but I'm too old not to care. Well, my girlfriend tells me, Timothy, would you give it a rest? You're bound to worse the balding if you just remain this stressed. So even though I can't decide if it's in or on my head, maybe I just look better if I wore a hat instead. 'Cause I never grew into my height, so I hope to keep my hair. Now I'm too young to be bothered, but I'm too old not to care. Would it just run away from me? Would it migrate to my face? Now to try for a comb over, well, it just feels out of place. So if I must be a short man, why can't I be Tom Cruise? I once wore my hair proudly, now I'm playing not to lose. 'Cause I never grew into my height, so I hope to keep my hair. Now I'm too young to be bothered, but I'm too old not to care. Said I'm too young to be bothered, but I'm too old not to care. Said I'm too young to be bothered, but I'm too old not to care about my hair. Thank you. Writing that song was a little easier than subscribing to Keeps or something like that. So, this next one here is another love song. It's one I wrote for my wife. If you all forgive me for playing a song about a place in Alabama, it's called Queen of Montgomery, and it was the first song I actually ever released. You can find it on that album we were talking about earlier, and it goes something like this. I may be lowly, but I won't lay you down. Well, stay with me, Queen of Montgomery. You've got it all, and I'll give you my word. Just to hold you would be the best thing for that little beauty queen, Queen of Montgomery. I may be lowly, but I won't let you down. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you very much. This next one here is a more recent one I've written about sort of the times we're in, I guess, a little bit. I feel like no matter what side of opinions or politics you're on, I feel like despair is kind of the tool to keep everyone separated and down. And I'm kind of tired of that. I don't know about y'all. So I wrote this song about that. It's called I Do Not Live in a Grave. Can't you hear the bells all toll, calling for a funeral? One beat up and go, throw myself into the hole. Wanna say all hope is gone, ain't no point to carry on. Long as that is up to me, that ain't the way I'm gonna be. 'Cause I do not live in a grave, I do not live in a grave. Got a lot left here to save, and I do not live in a grave. Someone else's mind for algorithms to define. I may not be one of a kind, but I ain't someone else's mind. I insist, I still believe goodness waits for those who grieve. There is life in every seed, and I was blind, but now I see that I do not live in a grave. I do not live in a grave. Got a lot left here to save, and I do not live in a grave. hate. I've been real angry as of late. But if I run or if I wait, well, I will not give in to hate. 'Cause you can't tell me all day long just how bad the world's gone wrong. Just 'cause the whole world plays that song don't mean I got to play along. 'Cause I do not live in a grave. I do not live in a grave. Got a lot left here to save, and I do not live in a grave. And I can hear the bells all toll, calling for a funeral. One meet up and go and throw myself into the hole. But I know that man from Galilee, I feel his hand holding me. Tells me don't be sure you see the way things are and ought to be. 'Cause I do not live in a grave. I do not live in a grave. I'm not left here to save, and I do not live in a grave. One more time. I do not live in a grave. I do not live in a grave. Got a lot left here to save, and I do not live in a grave. I do not live in a grave. I do not live in a grave. Nice. Good job. Good job. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all sounded good on that one. That was good. Alrighty. We're going to do another one here. This one is another love song, if y'all don't mind another love song here in the set. So the pace down a little bit. This one here is called Azure Blue, and it goes a little something like this. All my life I've had the feeling of being sad. And every time I'm happy, I expect things to go bad. But you came walking in and took my hand and led me home to the kind of place I didn't think I had a right to look for all along. And if heaven is an azure blue, it looks like you. Lord, if heaven is an azure blue, it looks like you. And if raindrops were the wounds of an honest friend, you'd be a storm. Still a fire in the dark night of the soul to keep it warm. I'm no worshiper of persons. You're not some kind of prophetess or a holy rolling saint. But you're the kind of beauty God would have me know, the beauty that I am. And if heaven is an azure blue, it looks like you. Lord, if heaven is an azure blue, it looks like you. All my life I've been trying to run away from the promises I never kept and the debts I paid. Now I'm wondering, does a man's soul simply turn on a dime, or just turn around and get to better walking with the right woman by its side? And if heaven is an azure blue, it looks like you. Lord, if heaven is an azure blue, it looks like you.
Tim Chandler on the Blue Plate Special. He has two-legged fans and four-legged fans, apparently.
Exactly.
We thank Elise Witt for joining us today in the first half of the show. Thank you to our audience and those listening on all of our platforms. We invite everyone to join us right back here on Monday for a double bill, David Singley and Danny Burns. Beyond Monday, you can visit our calendar on our website, WDVX.com, for additional upcoming acts. Please remember, we have a donation box at the back of the room, and keep in mind that it is through your donations that we are able to bring you all of this great music. We'll hear more great music later today. Coming up next, we'll have the swing set with Spencer Gross from 1 to 3. From 3 to 7, we'll have Uncle John's Marble City Jam with Colton Zinni. 7 to 10, of course, will bring us Rumble with Red Hickey, and then she'll stick around till midnight for After Rumble. And to close us out, Tim, I hope maybe you have one more song in you to close out tonight's Blue Plate Special.
I think I do, yes, sir.
All right, have at it.
All righty. Just want to thank WDVX again for having both of us on. Y'all be sure to support stations like this. We need more of them, and WDVX does a lot of good work. Yeah, for sure. They do a lot of good work for songwriters like us, so we appreciate them having us out. This last song here is called Traveler's Song. Growing up, I used to do a lot of hiking in the Appalachians. I think we got a few people like that here in Knoxville. Every once in a while, you meet a guy that they call a through hiker, which is someone who's crazy enough to hike the entire trail. And I met a couple of them one time. And it takes a different kind of state of mind to be able to do that for like 6 months straight. And a lot of PTO, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, I wrote this as kind of a tribute to those guys. It's called Traveler's Song, and it goes like this. It won't be long before we get there, son. Just one more day and we'll be done. It wouldn't seem so far if we didn't have to walk it out. But there's gold on the horizon, son, and the sun is off and on the run. We can finally have some fun if we'll just press along. Well, the dew won't be around us long. My feet are wet, my head is strong, and every journey seems so long when you ain't started out. And longer still at the middle wall where many a traveler tends to fall. I don't think that's us at all. We're over that hill now. And would you look at me? My blue jeans cut off about the thigh seams, and I've been wearing all my dreams on the tattoo on my leg. Come tomorrow, it won't be so bad. You may just get to feeling sad, and thankful for the time you had to bear your challenge well. Breathing deep, don't let them know your muscles weep until the pathway has been beat and there's a tale to tell. Tell it with a heap of humility. Don't take the credit from the tree that bears the fruit and grows the leaves of the limb you're out on now. Because it won't be long till we get there, son. Just one more day and we'll be done. Our journey's been a faithful one. Let's keep it that way now. Because there's gold on the horizon, son, and the sun is down now. The day is done. We can finally have some fun if we'll just press along. If we'll just press along. If we'll just press along. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Appreciate it.
That's Tim Chandler on the Blue Plate Special. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time on the WDVX Blue Plate Special.
Thank you.